to share, to be honest, to be truthful, to share our stories, to share what works, what doesn't work. I am honored to be surrounded by such amazing women I learn from every single day. And I figure if I learn from them, you can too. And our whole purpose in this world, I believe, is to help each other, right? And to love on each other. So I'm so excited to have Lauren and Misty and Deanna with us. And we're hoping that other members of our Fit Squad will chime in on the chat, or if they come in later, I'll bring them in. But yay, we're here and we're so excited to go. So you guys that are watching, please comment, and we're going to incorporate you guys into the whole conversation. Okay. And I'm already sitting here reading. I'm like, oh yeah, Pamela's saying, hi, I'm Misty's mom. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go around and we're going to start with Misty. And Misty, can you please tell us where you started and where you are right now?
Sure, absolutely. Howdy, everybody. It's your pal, Misty. I started my weight loss expedition, I call it, because a journey you do alone and an expedition you do with others. I started it at 330 pounds, and over the last 2.5 years, I started on February the 2nd, 2020, because it's the same forwards and backwards, and I like numbers. Over that time, I'm now down to just over 190 pounds. So almost 140 pounds lost over those 2.5 years. Got into fitness a little over a year ago. Love it. Good and strong. Yeah, so that's where I started. And currently, that's where I am.
Wow. 140 pounds.
Yes, ma'am.
That's something.
It is something. It's a whole person.
Yay, Misty. So proud of you. Deanna, what about you?
Oh, that's a tough act to follow. Oh, wow. I'm Deanna, and I started in September of 2019, and I started at 266. I'm currently under 220. So roughly just 40 pounds lost, and that sounds like a little number in a very long time. But my methods are completely different than being on a diet. I'm focused on behavior change and modifications, not on just following a diet to have fat loss. I'm more focused on the total well-being. And if fat loss is a byproduct of those changes, then so be it. That's really, I love that and I want that. But overall, I just want total behavior modification as my main goal.
Well, that's what it comes down to. It's behavioral modification. I mean, that's the bottom line. And what I love about it is that we are all being our own person and we're all achieving our own goals the way that we think that we can. So kudos to you, Deanna, and your success is amazing. And be proud of that.
I am.
All right, Lauren, tell us about you. So Lauren is not on YouTube, but Lauren is an art teacher and she's amazing and she has an amazing story. So Lauren, go on and share with us.
I think my journey started in the fall of 2016 about. I had gotten to the highest weight that I was and was just frustrated and embarrassed. So I asked my doctor for help and she referred me first to a registered dietitian. So I kind of started it gradually. And then I started meeting with Kirsten after school 3 days a week to train one-on-one in January 2019. And so we worked together for 3 months until April. And then I could go to the boot camp during my summer breaks and school breaks. And so I think I started about 216 was my highest weight, and then lost about 35 pounds and have kept it off for about a little over 3 years now. So, yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And the thing I love is that, all of our stories are different, right? They're all different. We all have a different amount of weight to lose, but there's that common goal of goals, right? We have certain things that we want to achieve. Now, I want to ask you, each of you, let's talk about your why. Because I know as a fitness professional, I can talk till I'm blue in the face about what to do. But you guys are in a unique situation because you're walking the walk and you're living the life and you're getting it done. And so what you have to say, in my opinion, is even more important than what I have to say, right? Because you're actually living it. And so that's why I just want to get this out. I want you guys to really share. And so the most important thing in my experience is just showing up. It's just coming to grips with, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. No excuses, right? And so Misty, what was your why? What was your why? Why did you decide to, I'm going to change my life? Because that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, well, and to be honest, over the process, it's changed a little bit as well. When I started out, because I had a new job. I was supposed to be traveling. This was December 2019, so right before everybody stopped traveling. And I wanted to travel, and I wanted to be healthier for the travel. That's where it started. And then along the process, I really just finally accepted the fact that I'm worth it. I'm worth being the healthiest version of myself for the rest of my life, however long that may be. 1 more day, 100 more days, 20, 30, 40 years. Like, I don't know, but I'm going to try to be healthier tomorrow than I was today. And so my why essentially now is because I'm worth it, and giving that grace to myself to feel that has been very empowering, and it helps me help others. So I like community. I like building community. But if I didn't think I was worth it, I don't know that I could give that to others.
Misty, don't make me cry tonight.
Oh, Coach.
Deanna?
It's true, though.
I know, hon. I know. It's true.
So my why was longevity, to be able to just, have life and feel life and live life, most importantly, because I didn't want to always be on the sidelines of things. I didn't want to wish that I could. I didn't want to avoid events or people or things, or not be able to. I didn't want my body to hold me back from those things. So pretty much that's it.
So Deanna, what got you to that point? Because, it's more than just when someone comes to me and says, hey, I want to change, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, okay, it's more than that. Like, let's dive deeper. Like, it's more than the weight loss. Like, why? Like, we're going to dive in a little bit. What was that pivotal point that was like, I want to live longer. I want to live a quality of life?
It was just, you just feel it for so long, and you live in this private jail cell of your body that limits you and makes you feel, oh, I'm going to cry.
No, I'm going to cry.
All sorts of ways. And, you finally, you just wake up one day and you're just like, I can continue to just feel this way, or I can choose not to. And I can choose to make one choice today that's going to change the outcome for tomorrow. And every day I can wake up and think, what's the one choice that I can make today that's going to make tomorrow better?
I love that.
And it's just, small little things to make tomorrow better.
Okay, that's the quote of the day. I love that, Deanna. Thank you very much. That's absolutely amazing. All right, Lauren, girlfriend. What was your why?
So I was diagnosed with a chronic condition when I was 21. I'm now 32. And I hadn't even heard of it. So I was diagnosed with lupus right in the senior year of college. But that summer before, I was super sick and actually was 30 pounds less than I am now. So I was thinner than I am now, but I was not well. And then I just had to deal with being put on steroids. And so that made my weight fluctuate a lot. And it took a couple of years to get adjusted to my medication and just how to deal with the lupus that I have. And so after a while, I was just tired of feeling tired. And I mean, teaching in and of itself is a very tiring job, but then I was having to come home from school and take a nap, and I didn't exercise. I exercised maybe once, twice a week. And so I wanted to feel better, and I wanted to not worry, but focus on what I can do to feel better and manage my lupus and just get healthier, and to make exercise a priority and eating healthy, because they never said you can't eat these foods. And so I didn't really have any like knowledge or background in that. So I had to like kind of do my own research. And then after a while, I kind of found like what foods and inflammatory foods like made me feel bad, or what foods triggered it, or things like that. I wasn't really aware because I hadn't even really heard of lupus when I first got diagnosed. And so it was just kind of it was gradual, but like now I have the energy. Like I hardly ever take naps unless I'm really tired. And it's because it's amazing what like regular exercise and like the right foods can do. So
Well, it's amazing because, and like, no offense, but like the medical community in our country does not really focus on nutrition.
right.
We don't talk about it. Nutrition, in my opinion, is medicine. And so if you're eating right, if you're moving your body and doing the right things, that is medicinal. And Lauren, like what you've done in your life is proof, because you and I have had talks and your lupus is manageable now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have a lot of flare-ups.
No, I don't. And I mean, I'm not perfect. Like I will
No one
eat
is.
too much
None of us
sugar, or I'll eat too much sugar, or I'll eat something fried that might like bother me. But
Once in a while, but it's not a regular thing anymore.
Right. So, but I
And
do
I
still
loved
go
it.
to Chick-fil-A sometimes. Sometimes.
When I worked with Lauren, it was like nutrition was a big deal, right? We found modifications, just like we do in physical fitness, modifications for certain foods. Like I was like, what do you normally have for lunch? And you would tell me, and I'm like, well, what if you try this? And that's exactly what you do now. And you're such a healthy eater now. And that's the thing. Like once you live the life and once you feel good, you want to stay there. And there's so many healthy foods that taste really good now. And so, Lauren, where are you now as to where were you when you started?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like okay, so my mom's on here, so she won't mind me like saying this, but she does not like vegetables. And so
throw it in.
she gave us vegetables as kids, but like I didn't have exposure, I guess, to like all of them, and I didn't know how to cook them. So I had to like kind of learn that. And I like love steamed broccoli now and like other vegetables. And we're actually having that at our wedding. I'm getting married in March, and like that's one of the sides. It's like steamed broccoli. And but I didn't know like the nutritionist or the dietitian helped me though a lot with that. And like meal plan. My mom said the truth comes out. But anyway, the dietitian that I worked with first in 2017, she helped me with a lot of nutrition things. And also something that was important for me, I'm a big sweets person, or was a big sweets person. And she really got me into reading labels, which I hadn't really done before. And she said, just start with looking at things that are 9 grams of sugar or less. So I started kind of focusing on that, because there's so much added sugar and like hidden sugar and things that you don't even realize. And so I just kind of focused on that, and I would look at things and I'd be like, well, this has like 20 grams of sugar, so maybe I can find a better choice.
And it's not, you don't have to be crazy, right?
Right.
Because I'm not like that either. I'm not crazy about like reading labels and stuff, but it is important to be knowledgeable about what you're putting in your body without going overboard.
Right. And I was never the person, like some people, it works for them to do that app where you like scan all the foods, but like I could never do that. And I could never like count all the calories and like be like that. So I just did it the way that it worked for me.
You did it your way.
Yeah.
Right? We all have different ways. So let's go back to Misty. I want to find out what is working for you. What are you doing right now? I mean, I tune into your videos, and I am honored to see you all the time on my boot camps, and I love it so much. But your weight keeps going down, down, down. You're getting stronger, stronger, stronger. And so what is working for you? What are you doing right now?
Well, I mean, I'm working out with you 6 days a week, Coach. That's that's one big thing that I'm doing. I mean, when I started this, speaking of nutrition, a lot of people really think that they don't like the way that I eat because I say that I eat a low carb or keto diet. And really all that I do is eliminate the added sugars. So I eat a lot of protein. I eat a lot of vegetables, all the vegetables. I just don't eat as much fruit as other people may eat and things like that. So I still do that. It makes me feel the best. People think of keto as a diet. I think of it as this is the way that I eat to feel my best every day, is to limit the sugar. That's what works for me. There are also other foods that I limit because I have a skin disease, and certain nightshade vegetables in mass quantities or bigger quantities that I would eat aren't good for me, and I have to limit them. Like eggplants, nope, can't have them. They'll make my skin flare instantly. Wow. So one thing I do is I keep on top of my nutrition. I keep on top of the foods that I eat that make me feel the best, and make sure that I get enough of them, because I'm doing hour-long boot camps 3 days a week. And then I work out with you in videos and stuff the other 2 days. And then, of course, we do the FitSquad every Saturday. So eating right, working out, going on vacations for relaxation purposes, doing all the things, Kirsten, just doing all of the things.
And you know what?
Working really well.
That's an important point. It's like, so you've upped your fitness game, you're managing your nutrition for your own body, and you're also like socially, you're participating, you're doing things that you normally wouldn't do. You're getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things. And that is so important. It's important for our heart. It's important for our soul. Like, it's not just nutrition and fitness, you guys. It's like, come on. It's everything. It's balance. It's in our life. It's socially. It's who's around us. It's what we're doing. And so I love that, Misty. I love that your life, like what you're doing socially, is kind of like what you're doing fitness and nutritionally as well. Like, it's really cool.
I agree. It makes me feel amazing.
I love that. And it shows. It shows. I see people are like, Misty, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Yeah, they like to see my smile. I like to give it. So
you have a pretty smile. I love your smile.
Oh, thank you.
Deanna.
Now I'm not going to want to smile ever.
Misty.
I hate compliments. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Deanna, what's working for you right now?
So what's working for me now, because it's really like a really long adventure. So it can't go with, there's like a whole evolution of processes that had to go through in order to get me to where I am now. So just, focusing on sleep and making sure that I was getting a regular sleep schedule, focusing my hydration, making sure that I was getting, the correct water. Was I making time for exercise every day, and just building these basic daily habits that are important, that I think that, for what I want to achieve. But then I had to focus on some of my downfalls, which were snacking and snacking in the afternoon whenever it had nothing to do with hunger.
Wait, I've never heard that before.
Snacking. Whenever you do not want to do something, so you go to the pantry and you grab yourself a snack because I don't want to do my work. So I'm eating these calories that I have no business eating. So I'm just procrastinating doing stuff like that. Mindless eating, whenever you're just, you're eating and you don't even realize that you're taking in, calories and food. You're just mindless eating to numb out or whatever it is, just creating an awareness and just the thing about that. And right now I'm really focusing on one of my biggest downfalls, which is storm eating. So I have a lot of flaws within me personally. And one is that I storm eat. So whenever things are bothering me personally, I like to bottle them all up. And then I will just storm. And I will scream and I will yell and I will just blow off like a firecracker. But normally before that happens, or before I get to that blow up stage, I just have to, I storm eat. It's kind of like, it's less than what I would call like a regular, like what a lot of people call binge eat, because I'm never a person that like really goes and eats more than like a regular serving. I've normally always been really controlled with my serving sizes, but it's just massive overeating in a different kind of way to hold those feelings down. But also whenever you're in a storm, you don't make any logical decisions whenever it comes to food. So that's a behavior that I'm working on modifying now, because if I was just, if I just count calories, or if I just follow a certain diet, I'm not healing that part of my body that needs to be healed. So I'm working on healing that right now. And it comes with a lot of failure, because those things are very hard to change. Something that you've been doing for, 40 years. It's hard to modify that. It's hard to change that and to even recognize, oh my God, that's what I was doing. Sometimes it's a week later that I'm like, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So
failure
what's
is
working now?
failure is part of success, Deanna.
It is.
It is.
Also, the FitSquad is really working for me, because strength is an important part of the game. I think that it is such an important part of exercise, not just, going out for walks. I think at my age, which, I'm 47 years old, I'm not shy about sharing my age at all, but strength is important for our bones. It's important for our, to have these muscles. It's important, for so many reasons, and all of them because you're trained in that stuff. I'm just a, regular person, but I need accountability in order to do it, because it's one of those things that I want to do. And I think in my head that I want to do it, but I don't ever get around to doing it. So that accountability and working out with friends gives me that motivation and that sense of accomplishment, and just helps me feel good. So that really, really is like so helpful, like beyond words helpful, because I wouldn't do it. I would just say, oh, maybe tomorrow, but I've got friends counting on me. I've got people who are holding me accountable, and it helps.
Yeah. And something else you and I have talked about, Deanna, is having a coach who will help you do it right. To be there to
my
support
God, because
you
I don't know how to do it right.
Yeah, we don't know what in the
to
world
do
we're
it.
doing.
And I can watch all the videos in the world.
She
and
gets up real close to the screen and is like, okay, now when you're doing that, I'm going to need you to move your arm. But that's so important to us, because we're just flailing around in our living rooms or in our kitchens or whatever, right? So having someone there to support us as we go through it and teach us, in addition to all of the things that Deanna says, is also really an important part of it for us. We've had this conversation, so I know I can say that for you, Deanna.
Well, if we're talking about stealing things, I'm stealing the modification on the food. Modification, not restriction. It's like you're just modifying what you eat. You're not restricting anything. You're still getting the best benefits of all the worlds.
Oh, hi, Paul. Paul checked in. We love Paul. Paul inspires me to run, even though I don't like.
Me too.
You had me running when we trained together. She had me
running around the block. Lauren would be like, "Are we done?"
Yeah, but when I was laughing before, because it took a month and a half to activate my core with Kirsten. So but she was showing me, like, I'd never really known how to do core exercises properly. And so we were in her garage studio when I would come after school 3 days a week, and she was showing me how to activate my core. And she'd be like, you need to practice. You need practice at home.
You have to. And I'm just saying, if you join the membership, there's videos on how to activate your core. So there's bonus things you get in membership. But I needed those videos. She did a video on all what the core is. I'm like, that's a lot. That's all.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And then she's like, practice this. I was like, I can't even do that. What are we talking about here? But practicing it every day, it really does help. And then, because you have to think about it to activate it. Yes. But you have to know what you're thinking about.
Yeah, like I didn't know some of that, like lower back down, and
hip width, shoulder width. What's the difference? It's just like basic things when you're starting. You have no idea what you're doing, and having a coach that will answer those questions is just such a benefit.
And
your posture.
Yeah, posture, everything. And that's why, like, when people are at home doing videos and stuff, that's great. But like, are you doing it right? And that was my thing. I'm like, I am all about community, and I'm about one-on-one and making sure people are doing it right. Are you doing it right? That's so important. Like, don't just go through the motions. Let's actually do it right. If you're taking this time to work out, let's do it right. Let's make it good, right? Deanna, there's one thing I wanted to go back to what you were saying about cycles. You're exactly right about behavioral modification. It all comes down to behaviors because our brains are wired to where we repeat. We repeat. And so we actually have to be proactive to change that behavior. And we have to replace that with something positive,
Yes.
right? So if we always tend to go into like the storm, it's like, how do I replace that storm eating with something positive? And maybe it's like going out for a brisk walk with Loki, or, you know, maybe it's something, let me replace that negative with a positive and then retrain my brain to go there once I'm triggered, right? Because something triggers you.
I'm learning that I have
It's
to
like that.
ask for what I need and want. And I don't like to. It's very hard. I like become like a deer in headlights and I freeze. And that's what I'm learning causes a lot of it. And I'm trying to break that. And it's so hard. It is so hard because it's just so easy to just run from any conversation or confrontation or anything like that. So yeah, but I tried so many other things and I'm finally on to that one. And it seems to be really working because I just feel the joy and the pride and the accomplishment from it.
I love that. I love that.
I'm all emotional.
It's okay. We're all
That's who I
emotional.
am.
That's okay, because we're talking about stuff that's like deep inside.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about stuff that we deal with every day. And
Oh yeah.
it's not just weight loss. Like, you're all kidding yourself if you think it's just about weight loss. It's not.
It never is.
Right? It's about your
It's not.
quality of life. It's about what you're able to accomplish. It's about quality of life. And so, yeah, it is an emotional thing. And
Yeah,
if
there's a lot of hurt for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's how it happened to begin with. So working through it, even physically, and you know this, Kirsten, I've talked to you about it. Sometimes when I work out, I'll be in the middle of a good, strong workout and I will cry like a baby. And she's like, oh yeah, no, that's totally normal, Misty. It's your body. It's like, I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. And sometimes you get so overwhelmed with emotion while you're working out, both good and sad and happy. And it's all these things. And you just have to be able to process them and move through them and accept them for what they are, because there is, for a lot of people, maybe not everybody, but there's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of I'm not the same person I was 2.5 years ago. I certainly didn't come into it thinking I was going to be a different person. But I am, and I'm happy to be. I'm happy with who I am. I was depressed to the point where I wasn't actively trying to kill myself. I was passively doing it. And that's the truth. And that's a really hard truth for me to admit out loud to people, that I was just
See what I started?
Yeah. But it's true, right? It's an important conversation for people to have because they don't want to go through that. But know that you're worth it and go through it, dadgummit, because you can and you should, and you'll feel amazing. And just, like we said, just trust us. You can't, because you have to do it for yourself. But
It's never too late to start.
it's never too late. I'm 47. I'm where Deanna is. We're the same. It's like, it's never too late to start. In fact, it's your time to start when it's your time to start. It wouldn't have been this expedition for me if I had started earlier. I tried to start earlier and it never worked. It took this time. It took this mindset. It took this community to help me get to where I am. So I'm very thankful.
Well, it's a readiness for change. Like, you were ready, and you have to be ready, and you have to jump in, and you have to do the work, and you have to be ready for it. Because if you're not, there is nothing anyone can say to get you there. You have to get there on your own. You can love someone and you can talk to someone till you're blue in the face. They've got to be ready. right? We've got to be ready. I'm going to show you some of this, Paul. And you guys, I want, like, you guys that are watching right now, like, chime in. Like, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Amy's sharing her love. Thank you, Amy. It is never too late to start. Never too late to start. I hope you guys know that. And you have to know your why, right? You have to know your why. It's not about weight loss. It's not. It's something deeper than that.
And revisit it because it changes all the time.
My why has changed for sure.
So
and your why in the morning is not your why in the evening.
Explain that. Deanna, how has your why changed?
Oh, because in the beginning it was, I wanted to stop feeling miserable. And then you lose 20 pounds and you don't feel so miserable and you feel a little bit better. And that why of I don't want to feel miserable. Well, that doesn't apply. Like, well, I can have all the things today because I don't feel miserable, but they're going to make me feel miserable again. So I've got to change my why. So my why is for, a different reason. It's, to be able to do, X, Y, Z, maybe not today, but it's so that I can do it tomorrow instead. So, because my decisions that I make today are going to affect tomorrow. So always revisiting that why, because you've got to have the one that's going to work for you in this moment. Right. What's going to work for you in this choice, in this decision that you're facing right now.
Right. Misty, what's your why now? If your why has changed, what is it now?
Well, now it's because I understand that I'm worth it. When I first started, I was really doing it so I wouldn't be a burden to others. It was always me trying to look out for others, thinking that that was the best way to love on them. And then I've realized as I go that because I felt unloved and unworthy, and even though I wasn't, it doesn't change the fact that I felt that way, right? And once I got to the point where I had lost some of the weight and started to feel better, and then really when I started doing things with fitness, my mind shifted and I was like, I can do this just for me. And I can be proud of myself for doing it and for putting in the work every day. It's consistency, right? And like I was talking to Christy, member of the FitSquad, even inconsistently consistent. Like if you do it more often than you don't, that's still more than you were doing before. And it's a good place to start. And then as you do more, even though it still sounds crazy in my brain, as you do more, you can do more. You can do more exercise. You can do more healthy choices with what you eat, and you can love on people better. And for me, that's what it's all about. So my why is knowing that I'm worth it so that I can do all of those things.
That's wonderful. I love that. Thank you, Misty. Thank you for sharing. Lauren, has your why changed?
A little bit. At the beginning, like I mentioned with my lupus, it was to get more energy and to better manage that because I was teaching. I got diagnosed in college right before I was about to teach. And then it just kind of was hard, like starting my career and just managing that. And so at first it was to get more energy and to take better care of myself because I don't really study, if you've ever heard of the Enneagram, I don't really study it, but I'm a 2 and they're like helpers and like, I guess, givers. And so like, I was always like pouring out, especially teaching as my job, and just wasn't really like taking care of myself. And so, so that part of the why hasn't really changed because I've realized like, now I have a better work-life balance and realize that I need to take care of myself so I could be a better teacher and make time for that. And I'm not a morning exercise person except in the summer because I have to be at school at 7:30 and I get up at 6:15. So I just don't need a lot of time. I live close to school, so I don't need like a ton of time to get ready, but I'm just not a morning person. Kirsten, when I come to boot camps in the summer, I'm more often late than not. So, but I still come.
Yes. The struggle is real. I tell people I'm not a morning person, but I have made it a decision in my head that I'm worth waking up early for.
Yes.
Doing
And that
it.
helps.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
I
it's
do
all
things. I did not today after school because we have staff meetings after school, and then I had this and had some things to do. But usually I'll do like afternoon or evening workouts. So you just have to know like what works for
Yeah,
you.
that's true. When I
But-
first started, I did more afternoon and evening workouts, and that works. And I still like an afternoon work. I'll catch the 2 p.m. for me boot camps on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I can. I like the afternoon workouts, but yeah, it's also just finding the workout that works for you. Sometimes, if you do a
Right.
workout and you hate it, maybe stop doing that one and try something different for a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't hate that other thing as much. Although Kirsten hates things and then makes us do them over and over.
Yes, she does. She does.
She hates a burpee. You wouldn't have known that from
We
And
did
then
like
she'll do a month long
variation.
challenge too. She'll do a
Yeah.
yes.
Hate these. Let's do them for 31 days. All right, let's do it. But it's important to sometimes challenge yourself and do things that you don't want to do because you know it's a good thing to do. But also sometimes find the thing that you like. And for
Right.
me, it's working out with other people virtually. That's what I like, and it works for me.
Community.
I'll set my time to get my workout in, and I'll try to go outside and go, and it's like too hot or too miserable or too cold or too whatever, and I'm like, no, not doing this. Then I'll come inside and I'll like play video, and I'm like, not feeling this one. Okay, next video, not feeling this one, and I keep trying because this is my time. This is what I scheduled. I'm not just gonna give up until I can find what I can do that day that I'm like into and having fun, because it's got to be fun for me. If it's not fun,
Right.
I
but there's
think
something fun out there.
no, it's important to know what works for you, right? We're all different. What works for you? And the struggle is real when it comes to work. I mean, we all have to work, right? But we have to figure out when we're going to get it in. We need to schedule it so we're not at the last minute trying to decide what am I going to do today? Because
Yeah.
like Misty says, you are worth it. And Misty may not be a morning person, but she's getting up in the morning because she's worth it. And that's the mindset, because I feel, and Misty, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but once you feel the results, once you feel so good and it has actually seeped into other aspects of your life, you're going to make time for it. It's worth it.
Oh yeah, I make time for it every day. So that's nothing I thought I would do. You don't have to work out 6 days a week. I feel best working out 6 days a week. So I do it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I know. I'm there with you.
And I don't think that only applies to working out. I think it applies to, cooking. I think it applies to, keeping your space tidy and environmentally friendly for you. These different things that just benefit you. It crosses into many different aspects of your life. That once it feels good, it's like you're more likely to do it because it feels good and it helps you.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you 100%, Deanna.
Procrastinating.
I know. I love that. That's another word I'm going to write down, procrastinating.
Who isn't guilty of that one?
Yes.
Your phone.
Sorry.
It's okay. Get off.
That wasn't even the dog.
All right, girls, I want to go around and Misty, we'll go around. Can you share, and I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, can you share like one fitness piece of advice that you would share with someone? One fitness piece of advice.
Oh yeah, the same one that I always share.
I know.
A modification is not a cheat. A modification is necessary. Also, a modification does not always mean it's easier. You're thinking about it wrong. You can do modifications to make a basic exercise harder. It's all what you think about a modification. Use them until you don't need them or can do the next level. Sorry, I got a little bit on my
Wow.
Do the mod. Do the mod.
Let's just
That's
hold
the
these weights here. Let's just hold them.
5 little pounds. It's fine. 20 minutes later, it's not as fun anymore. But it is what it is.
I couldn't have said that better myself. You are exactly 100% correct.
Yeah, I didn't want to do them when I started. And that's the truth. Because I felt like it was a cheat. I felt like it was a cheat. I should do a push-up. If I can't do a push-up, why am I doing this workout right now?
Oh, wow.
That's how I thought about it. And that's why I never started. I started not even with push-ups against a wall, but literally laying on the floor, pushing my hands up.
Wow.
You try to do that 150 times, your arms still get tired. Shoot, it's not it.
That's hard.
But I started there, and now I can do like 3 regular push-ups.
That's amazing. So you had a whole mind shift regarding meditations.
Yeah, I had to fix my brain and think that it's not a cheat. It's the way you succeed. You don't learn to read without learning the alphabet first. Why would you think you can just start with a push-up? You weigh 300 pounds. You think you can just start with a push-up? I mean, come on. Realistic talk to yourself sometimes is you lie to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You're so good. You are. I mean, you said that perfectly. And I hope maybe someone watching that you can help them like rethink that modification is not cheating. Modification is not the easy one. It's the ladder to success. It's you getting stronger.
I'm on restriction right now a little bit still because of my shoulder. I was perfectly happy to do my burpees against my bench. Do I normally do them on the floor? Yeah. Do I normally still modify them anyway, even on the floor? Yeah. So I'm still doing a modification on any level, but it's where I am now. And then I also have to add, but don't be afraid to try the next one every once in a while. Don't get stuck in a mod.
Oh,
always try to move forward.
Because you never know when you're going to be able to do it, right?
Right.
Like every single day I'm looking up at you, like, you know, the one thing I'm waiting for you to do. I'm like looking up there going,
can she do it? She did it.
Oh, you're going to see me jump up when I see you do it.
Yeah. You're like, just try. I'm like, oh, I know that's for me. Dead. Okay, I'll try it. I know there's like 12 other people there, but in my brain, it's always just for me. I'm like, okay, coach, I'll try.
I love it.
That's my biggest piece of advice. Be realistic with yourself and do the exercises that you can now and then build up and progress.
Nobody's looking at you. They're all worried about themselves.
Exactly right.
Nobody's looking. Whenever we get on the screen and we're all zooming together and doing our workouts, you know who I'm looking at? Kirsten and me. I don't see anybody else.
110%. I don't know what y'all are doing. I ain't got time. I'm busy.
So you're worried about what other people think. They're thinking about themselves.
Yes. Yes. I try to tell that to people because they get so nervous about, I mean, sometimes the girls, like we'll be doing an exercise like out in the parking lot or whatever. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, no one cares. No one cares. Do your thing. Don't worry about what people are thinking.
I tell people, if you join the FitSquad and you show up and march in place for 30 minutes, we're going to be so excited you're there marching. And then maybe next time you'll do some side steps. It's like, do what you can do today. We're just happy that you're there showing up for yourself and doing what you can.
That was the other thing I was going to say, like, do what you can. If it wasn't for the 5-minute video series that they did, whenever they did it, I probably wouldn't have got into it, but being able to just do that 5 minutes and being like, oh, I can do this. I can do 5 minutes. Okay, well, I can work up to 10 minutes. And now I'm doing 30-minute boot camps and hour-long boot camps and dying and going back to life. But it never would have started without those 5 minutes.
Yeah, now we only die like 3 times. It's great. And 30 minutes feels short. I'm like, this workout is over. Wow.
And if you don't like somebody, try somebody else.
Correct.
Like, there's somebody out there for everybody.
Yeah.
Just, nobody's going to get offended if, they're not your cup of tea. They're going to be more excited that you moved on and you did something that worked for you.
That's the important thing. You're right, Deanna. That's the important thing. Absolutely. Lauren, what's your piece of fitness advice?
I would like to piggyback off of what Misty was talking about with the modifications because I relate to that. And especially when I first started. So part of my lupus, like you said, Kirsten, is very well managed, but I do struggle with some joint pain. And so I can't really do things on my wrists. So I can't really do like a full plank because it hurts my wrist too much. And so then I do a forearm plank or on my knees. And then I just kind of got down on myself about it at first, like, oh, look at all these other people that are all, you know, this fitness level, or even they're older than me. And I'm like young and I should be able to do this in my body. But it's just part of like, it's really the only thing that, and then jumping, like I can't do a ton of jumping because of my knees. So
I just can't jump. My brain thinks I can jump. And it just
Yeah.
and I do it and my feet don't come off the ground. Doesn't stop me from trying though.
Yeah. It just, and then I just didn't know, like I did some workouts before I started working out with Kirsten. Like I had gone to, I'm a Y member as well, a YMCA member. And I like these dance classes, but I was only going like once or twice a week. And then I tried to, you know, learn from one of the people that work there, all the different, they just show you the machines for like lifting weights, and they give you like a 10-minute consultation, and everyone's all around the whole gym. And so I didn't know like proper weightlifting. And then you'd see these guys over there, whatever, like throw them down and just not proper techniques. And I don't know. It was all intimidating until I like really knew about strength training and weightlifting, because I didn't really know anything about it until I worked with Kirsten. So.
And it's important. And I think you guys would all agree, and we talked about it earlier, is that strength training, and for me, and I'm not shy about it, strength training is the game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Strength training is the fountain of youth for your body. Strength training will keep your body young. Strength training will keep your body strong. And it will keep you lean and keep your metabolism boosted. It'll keep your bones strong. It'll keep your muscles strong. I am a strong believer in that, because, you know, a lot of times it's cardio, cardio, cardio. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with cardio, but cardio actually rips up your muscles. If you're a runner, you know this. This is why Paul, who was on earlier, he cross trains, because he knows that running breaks down his muscles, and he needs to build them back up again with strength training and calisthenics and that sort of thing. And so, you know, we've got a lot of steppers on here. Woo, 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 woo. Derek's Journey's on here. We got the October challenge. We're ready for it. We're going to be walking a lot. That's a lot of cardio. Let's cross train. Give me some squats, people. Give me some lunges. Let's build up those muscles in your legs to make your legs stronger, you know, and make them faster, and so that you don't get torn down, right? So strength training. And you guys have all said that.
Oh, strength training changed my body and my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely changed. That's been a huge change in who I am as a person. Wow. I'm more confident. I'm more motivated. I'm more friendly. I'm happier. Like, it's just,
how can you be more friendly?
Because if I start to get antsy, y'all know, I'll do something. And then I feel better. And so I know that's crazy, but I'm even a nicer person.
I love that.
Get rid of the aggression, because I don't have it, because I'm not mad at myself as much anymore. I'm proud of myself now.
You should be.
Yes.
That's so good. And I love that, because I talk about that all the time, is that you use your physical energy to take care of your mental energy. So like if I'm stressed, you better believe I'm going to be lifting heavy weights. You better believe I'm going to be slamming. I'm going to be kettlebelling. And I get it out that way. And it does keep me happy, and it does really affect my life. And it makes me a better mom, a better wife, a better friend. I agree with you, Misty.
Yeah, it makes everything better. The endorphins that you get from a workout will last for hours sometimes. And if it wears off, you do it again. I mean, you don't have to.
It's a natural high. It's a natural high.
It is.
Yeah.
You just feel good about yourself, about life, about look what I did today. Look what I accomplished. Even if it's in the afternoon, you still, when you're done, you're never sad that you did it.
Mm-mm.
You're only sad when you didn't.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes the last thing I wanted to do was come to Kirsten's garage. After teaching 8.5 hours, however long I was there. I'd be at school 7:30 to 3:30, and then I'd get to her house like 4:30 and change in her bathroom, and then meet her in the garage. And she introduced me to like the TRX and all those type of things. And
We
we
boxed.
just worked out. Yeah, we boxed. We used your cycle, your bike.
We did a little bit of everything.
We ran your block.
Look, I came up twice.
Yes.
She's gonna keep bringing that one up.
Yes. Or we did lunges across your driveway, back and forth. Yes.
You know, it's changing it up. It's changing it
Yeah.
up. It's not doing the same thing over and over again. It's keeping your body guessing, right? That's a super important thing. And I know you guys can all attest to that because you've been doing that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, and I know we've kind of like dove into it a little bit, but tell me one piece of nutritional advice that works for you. And it might be maybe advice that maybe will keep you from eating something you shouldn't eat, or advice on what you should eat every day, or whatever that advice would be. If you can give one little tip, what would you tell your friends? Misty?
I've said this, I believe, on live stream with you before too. My one tip is I don't eat a food today that I didn't plan for. And that because it's that instant gratification. I want a cookie. I want a French fry, whatever it is for you. I want a piece of cake. It's that instant gratification. If you don't allow yourself that, you'll make a better choice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So that's
So
the
do you
piece that
plan
works for
on-
me.
Do you plan on like when, I don't know if you call it like a reward, or when you like can have something like on vacation? Like I watched your video and you said
Yep.
bread.
Bread and potatoes. Bread and potatoes are my favorite.
And so you planned on that though. You were like, I'm going to allow myself that.
Right.
No, go
it was
down.
a food that I
down.
had planned on for that day. So it was okay at any meal, at any time, if it came with bread or potatoes, that I have some of it. I ended up not eating nearly as much of it as I thought I would, but
Yeah.
I allowed myself that. And yeah, sometimes if French fries are my thing. So sometimes, and it's for me, it's the trigger again, like Deanna was. You have to change that mindset too. And delaying that instant gratification is part of that for me, because anytime I leave the house, I want to stop and get fast food, because that's how I always ate. I never cooked before. I didn't own anything to cook in my house. Are you kidding me? I literally ate fast food for every meal, or something that I could bring home and heat up in a microwave. So the biggest tip that I have is delay that instant gratification of food.
That's amazing.
Oh,
And
it's
you know
hard.
It's hard, but you're maintaining control over it. Like the fact that you were like, I'm going to allow
I'm better now. I'm saying that's the goal. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I'm more often good at it now than I was in the beginning.
It's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Deanna, how are you going
I
to help?
second what she said, but that's really complicated. I actually don't do any restrictions. I believe that all foods are good, and modification, and what that means to you is, different. I believe in modification, not restriction.
And what does
So-
that mean to you? What is modification, not restriction? What is that?
So that means you're just going to modify what you're eating a little bit. You're not going to completely restrict it. So everything is good and modify, and
So
things. It doesn't mean it's good every day. So you're going to modify maybe how many times you eat it. You're going to modify how often you eat it. You're going to modify maybe why you're eating it. So just modifying, but not completely restricting it at all.
Mhm.
I know that I had a huge problem with secret eating brought on from diets, because of, following diets and doing all of this, and people judging and looking, can you eat that? And whatever, it brought on a bad habit of secret eating. That was another thing that I had to kind of get away from.
Yeah.
So whenever there's restriction involved, then that brings on that tendency to want to secret eat. So I can't say that I'm restricted from eating foods. I can eat all the foods. It's just, making those choices, and by making a plan and saying, this is what I'm going to eat today, and sticking to that plan, it makes it so much easier. And I can have it tomorrow if I want to. And a lot of times tomorrow I don't want it. It's just that
Most
thought
of the
that
time.
I smelled it, I heard about it, I saw it on TV, that makes me, want that instant gratification, and that it just goes away. It's just a thing that happened in this moment. And so many times we're so used to just being able to just do whatever we want, and we do it. So it's hard to tell yourself no sometimes, but it gets easier the more you practice. It's just one of those things, like reading. Couldn't do it at first, but you practice and then you can do it.
Like exercise.
Well, I love that. I love that, Deanna. And that modification takes planning. That modification takes mind control. So you are actually in control when you are doing that. And so that's huge.
Yep.
And I love that you're doing what works for you, that you're avoiding like triggers.
Yes, definitely. I just could never, I think Misty has like such a beautiful mindset around the way that she eats. She does eat this keto, low carb lifestyle, but her mindset is not of a person who is following a diet, following a plan. She is, but her mindset has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no.
It just happens to be the way she eats. It's like when somebody eats a certain way because they have to, because of their health. They don't do it. It's just what they do because their health. It makes them feel good. It makes their body run well. It's like, so different than somebody who's doing it for you can
and
do
I'm not doing it for
reasons.
weight loss. I'm not doing it for weight loss. I don't eat this way I don't eat eggplants because they give me boil like lesions on my skin, and nobody wants that, let's be real. And I don't eat sugar because I don't feel good when I eat it.
It's a mindset. It's like you feel it. It's the way your body
not
is.
a diet.
It's not.
It's just the way that I eat because I feel good doing it. I appreciate you saying that, because a lot of people do specifically hate on the way that I eat because it is so often used as a fad diet to lose weight. And that's why it doesn't work for those people.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's good. That's good. Thank you both. That's like super awesome information because everyone's different and you do what works good for you. And I'm also I am not a super strict person when it comes to nutrition. People are always like, what do you do? And I'm like, I eat healthy. Like I eat fresh. Like I'm not crazy, like I live with my husband who, he cooks a lot and he cooks food that he loves to eat. And I love to eat it too. And so for me, it's, portion control. It's, pulling back when I need to pull back, but I'm not a crazy person. I like to think that I eat healthy, but I love the way Misty and Deanna that you guys have explained, how you are eating, that it works for you. And that's all that matters.
And you have to find what works for you because you're not the person next door.
Yeah.
You really do.
My mom could never eat the way that I eat. She could not eat the amount of meat that I eat. That's just the truth. But she's lost like 25, 30 pounds recently because she's eating healthier just overall. So awesome. It's finding what works for you and being consistent at it.
Amen to that. Amen. Lauren, what's working for you?
So I wouldn't call it really a Mediterranean diet, but some people, anti-inflammatory. So I just had to become mindful of that. Like I didn't do it, like I said, right at the beginning of my diagnosis, but probably like 5-6 years in. And so after meeting with that dietitian, I think it was 2017, she gave me a lot of good resources and information. And like I had mentioned earlier, just really reading the labels and looking for things like she said, just to start with 9 grams of sugar or less, because I have loved sweets like as long as I can remember. Like as a little kid, I would sometimes get those cupcakes, those Hostess cupcakes with little white swirls, and love those and all kinds of sweets. And just my mom has a sweet tooth, so I probably got it from her. But
Betsy's gone now. We can talk about her. No,
but no, just always like, some people like fried food or fries, but I would have to have dessert. I would be like have it at lunch and dinner, and just too much and not really paying attention to that. And then I kind of had a wake up call to it. I think I had already been working with you, Kirsten, and I went to the Cheesecake Factory, which I rarely go there, but I had eaten dinner. I don't even remember what I had, but then had cheesecake. And then when I got home, my like finger was swollen to like the point where I could hardly bend it. And so like that was like the sugar like reacting in my body, because I had already started working with you and like had, changed my behavior and my modifications and was eating less of that type of stuff, if any at all. And then I had that at a special time, and then it reacted in my body. And same thing with like, I drink alcohol from time to time, but like sometimes that will react me. And also fried foods, I've gotten like that before too. Like I've gotten, my hands will just like get swollen. So my joints as well. So like red and swollen. So it's not very fun, and it hurts, and it feels like I have like arthritis or something. So that is like one reason. But I do still like desserts, but just like
Moderation.
I don't know. Yeah, dark chocolate, or sometimes a cookie, or
Protein bites.
yeah, the protein bites. I make protein bites. That's what I eat for my breakfast actually every day. I have a couple for breakfast, and that's my breakfast.
That's awesome.
I just made earlier tonight, or after school, I made a new one with pumpkin in it. So try it out.
Was
Have
it
to
good?
try it
Did you
out.
try
Not
it?
till tomorrow.
I know. I try. Well, I need to take them out of the freezer actually, but they're still in the freezer. But hopefully
I can't wait.
they're good. Yeah, I'll have to send the recipe.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So, girls, we have been on here for about an hour, so I'm going to wrap it up. I mean, the bottom line is, you are worth it, and you have to find out what works for you. And what works for you may not work for someone else, but you are worth figuring out what works for you. Make the time for yourself, figure it out. And you know what?
And don't stop trying.
Yes.
Yes. Fitness is the conduit for
I know it's
joy
right.
and happiness and change to happen throughout your whole life. I've seen it for the 25 years I've been in fitness. It's not just about working out. It's about finding yourself. And I know that sounds so deep and it sounds so corny, but
So
it
true.
truly
Yeah.
is. Right?
I'm still learning who I am,
Yeah.
who this new body is. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true.
And it's hard.
Oh,
And
look.
people give up. But
Wait,
don't.
Camille's past her bedtime.
Oh,
Right.
that's love right there. We love it.
Derek and Cheryl. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. We love our community. Thank you, ladies, for being on tonight. I want to do this. I think this is going to be a regular thing because you guys have a lot to share. And I want to talk to you guys as we continue our journey. So make time for yourself, everyone. And we love you. And we hope you guys have an amazing evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we love
This
you, Coach.
newbie. I'm not a YouTuber, but
Yeah, you've done it now, Lauren. No reason. Come on.
You are now.
thank you. My first YouTube video. Well, I've probably been in the background of some of your videos, Kirsten, where we were doing workouts. But
Oh yeah, you're in there.
You did
Laura.
great. You did absolutely amazing. It was
Thank
nice to
you.
get to know you a little bit more about your story. So
thank you. Yeah, you too.
Very good.
Both of you.
Don't
I'd
forget to
love to
like,
watch it.
comment, and subscribe.
that's
Yeah.
right. You know it.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do actually have a YouTube account, so yes, I will.
Ooh, all right, Lauren, I'll check that out.
Well, not a channel, just an account.
You can
Right.
subscribe to other people.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, good night,
Thank
everyone.
you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.